Hello YouTubers and welcome back to another weekly video. In this video we are going to cover solar news from around the world. We are going to continue the trend from last week. We are going to split the videos in different parts so that you are easily able to watch that. So we are going to split the videos in 5 different parts. Firstly, news from Indian solar industry, international solar news, news from ancillary solar industries, news from EVs, and news from research and innovation in the renewable tech space. So let's get started. I would say keep hydrated. Hello YouTubers and welcome back to another weekly video of solar news. In this video we are going to cover news from international markets, solar news from international market and updates. Let's get started. Spotsylvania solar project begins partial operation. So Spotsylvania is in US. It was being developed by a developer named AES, and this project faced a lot of backlashes because they were using First Solar's thin film solar cells, that is CDT technology, and locals protested that the CDT would leak into the ground and make their soil, you know, unfertile and pollute their water, so they could die and it could lead to poisoning. So this project derailed for about 4 years and now they have commissioned 259 megawatts of the 485 megawatts. Tyler Technology signs agreement with NREL to help expand access to residential solar. So Tyler Technologies has developed a backend that they have provided to Department of Energy and National Renewable Energy Laboratory in USA, and it has designed, the app is named Solar App. So it is designed to review and inspect the installation of solar panels, and they are integrating it across the US government bodies to fast track the adoption in residential sector. So FERC, that is Federal Energy Regulatory Commission of US, eyes transmission reforms to ease US connection process. So US market is also looking at LTOAs and interstate transmissions by renewable energy networks so as to make each state energy independent and move to clean energy. So they are eyeing reforms in the transmission. Earlier they had to generate their own electricity, unlike India where like states like Delhi, they don't have any power plants right now, so they offtake electricity from different states. So in US there is a provision that each state has to generate its own electricity, and now they want to change that, so they allow electricity to be sold and bought amongst each other. So good move by US market. Bevary commissions largest 2 floating solar projects outside Asia. So Bevary, we all know, is a Dutch developer. They were commissioning projects and they were commissioning floating projects in Taiwan, in Singapore, in Malaysia. Now they have commissioned largest floating solar projects outside Asia of size 41.1 megawatt and 29.8 megawatt in Netherlands. And yeah, so this was big news, and this is the news I want to tell to all the prospects, all the people who are thinking about moving to opt for renewable energy in their lives if they can afford it. Investors are now pivoting to renewable as cost of energy drops and climate target looms. So first of all, investors like big banks, big companies like, I'll move the cursor here, you can read the name: Chevron, Indian Oil, Suncor, CNOOC, Valero, Galp, Repsol, BP, SK Innovation, Shell, Equinor, Total. These are big companies. They are also investing into renewables because the LCOE, that is the levelized cost of energy from renewable energy assets, is very, very, very low as compared to coal and other fossil fuel derived power sources. So they are moving to totally renewable, and big banks have stopped investing into fossil fuel power plants and they are only focusing on renewable growth for the next 2 decades, and they are eyeing biofuels, hydrogen, renewable energy, solar, wind, transportation. And the total renewable energy installations around the globe hit 260 gigawatt for this year despite the lockdown, which is 50% more. So 260 gigawatt of renewable energy deployment, and the fossil fuel power plants deployment has declined. In 2019 it was 64 gigawatts, in 2020 it is 60 gigawatts. So good news for renewable energy sector. China added 13 gigawatts of solar to the end of June 2021. So China single-handedly is the largest market of solar energy. They have a monopoly in manufacturing of solar energy equipment, that is polysilicon, wafer, cell, backsheets, Tedlar sheets, solar glass, in fact solar inverters. So they have a monopoly, and I think they have a unfair advantage around the world that they manufacture everything that is used in solar energy. So they have added 13 gigawatts in 1 month time, that is just in June, and the total power capacity from solar has hit 268 gigawatts in China. 268 gigawatts just from solar energy. So this is crazy. And 13 gigawatts that they deployed in June, 5 gigawatts came from residential solar sector, where the government was providing subsidy, not in installation of the system. There was no upfront subsidy to opt for solar power plant, but there was generation incentive that was given to the consumers who opted for solar power plant. So whatever unit they generate from solar energy, they used to get around 0.03 RMB per unit. So it was a great move for China and big news. PPA is driving ground mounted solar deployment in Spain as 2020 installs reach 2.8 gigawatts. So Spain is now targeting its national grid to renewables with the help of tidal, geothermal, wind energy and solar on ground. So their self consumption has reached 296 megawatts of deployment last year, and the highest total capacity that they have right now installed is 2.8 gigawatts. So this was an amazing news, and this has set up a example to the world. Japan, as we all know, is the best market for technology in the world, and they are the leaders in the technology space. So with the beginning of Olympics, where all countries come to compete in sports, and Olympics is a event that bring together all the countries. So they have set an example to move to renewable and green future. So the Olympic cauldron was powered with hydrogen, and Tokyo 2020 Olympic announcement had hydrogen mentioned in its name. When they were lighting the fire of the cauldron, it was powered with hydrogen, and they have declared that they will be using this event to showcase a hydrogen city that they have created. So this Olympic will be home to thousands of athletes for several weeks in the Olympic Village, and they are demonstrating how this technology can be used in practice by miniature hydrogen city. And they are saying that the potential of first full scale solar wind derived hydrogen infrastructure has been showcased in Japan, Tokyo, and the hydrogen will also fuel athletes buses, heat water in cafeterias, dormitories and training facilities. After the game, underground pipes will take hydrogen from production station to residential blocks. So this is amazing for Olympic Village to set an example in the world that hydrogen city can be possible, and it is feasible, and it is derived completely on renewables. So big thumbs up to Japan for doing this. US seeks to speed rooftop solar growth with instant permits. So this is what is happening in US, and this should be happening around the world to deploy rooftop solar PV plant on sites where there is the need for consumption, that is houses, offices, factories, where you consume power in the daytime, put solar on your rooftop. So this is done with the help of we discussed NREL, Department of Energy, and NREL and Tyler Energy. So they have developed this app, Solar App Plus platform, that is Solar Automated Permit Processing Platform, developed by DOE NREL. This will allow local governments to process permits applications automatically, and it will be hassle free for consumers, for developers, for EPC companies, and for the government department itself. So amazing, like when you have technology in the time of pandemic, when everybody is moving to technology, why not move to the licensing and documentary part also to online. Britain eyes new body to run its energy system and meet climate target. So Britain was the first country to set its net zero target for 2050 in 2019, and it is a rich country, so it was able to do that. But now it is facing a issue because they don't have a single body that monitors the national grid and the generation companies. So now they are saying that we need to form a new autonomous body that will look after the energy targets and the climate targets that are required for the country to meet net zero by 2050. Mainstream renewables power to develop new platform in Chile. So Mainstream Renewables is developing a 1 gigawatt solar power plant in Chile near the lithium ion mines, lithium ion lakes basically, where they extract the lithium ion from the brine solution that is built up in the lakes. So they are doing this with renewable energy. We covered this in June week 4, I think. If you remember, if you watched the video, please mention in the comment below. US solar sector urged to take action to mitigate wildfire risk. So wildfires in the US is a phenomena that happens every year, and mainly in states like California. It is a widespread, and once it start going, it keeps going for days, and it blocks the weather. It blocks the it forms a smoggy layer on the, on a big region like California. So first of all, the mitigation risk that is there for the solar developers, that is they face generation losses. Second is this fire could reach their solar power plants that are installed in large utility scale, so they could face fires in their power plants, and it is a loss, a materialistic loss, and it could cause damage to the asset. So they are saying that we need to take action, and we need to look how we are going to solve this for the next decade. Asian Infrastructure Development Bank has approved $50 million funding for NL Green 300 megawatt solar project. I covered this in Indian Solar News. You can go back and watch the Indian Solar News video for this week. So NL Green is to deploy 300 megawatt solar project in Rajasthan, where they are selling this electricity to SECI. They have signed up a PPA with SECI. So AIIB, that is Asian Infrastructure Development Bank, they have funded $50 million for it. US solar employers expect to bounce back from workforce loss this year, Department of Energy report says. So Department of Energy has said that after the pandemic, the lockdowns, people are vaccinated. Now the solar market is seeing a boom, and it is bouncing back from the decline that it faced due to the pandemic. So last year, a workforce of 25,700 workers were laid off due to the pandemic, and now it is bouncing back with a increasing rate of 11% per year. So good news for solar market around the world, because if US is moving to hiring back, every market is moving to hiring back, and we ourselves in India are moving to hiring back. Solar module for floating PV from Hyundai. So those who don't know, Hyundai used to produce best of the best solar modules in the industry, but they are not sold outside. In India, we can't get Hyundai modules because we can get a sample, but we can't get a Hyundai module for large scale deployment, because first BIS, no import is allowed in India if it doesn't passes the BIS certificate. So Hyundai doesn't have BIS certificate, but I have seen Hyundai modules firsthand on my trip to China, and they are A class. The power generation for the modules degraded even 15 years as A class. So Hyundai is now supplying modules, floating PV plant, and this will be done by 1.35 gigawatt factory that is in South Korea. And the module is called Aquamax. It is half cut monocrystalline PERC panel built with 156 cells with a size of 166 into 83 mm each. So this is a unique cell. As we all know, they are not dependent on China for their wafers and cells. They can produce their own cells. So 166 into 183 mm size of the cell, that is unique. Generate Capital secures $2 billion investment to invest in sustainable infrastructure. So Generate Capital is a San Francisco based company that builds, owns, operates and finances sustainable infrastructure around the world, and across the world they have a portfolio of about $2 billion currently in assets across energy, waste, water and transport. So the capital that they have raised is from Australian pension fund and Australian hedge fund named QIC, and they have various investors in this capital firm, mainly pension funds, hedge funds, railway pension funds, government pension funds, old age home pension funds. So they are working in energy, waste, water and transport. So we are also working in energy, waste, water and not transport, food. We'll soon be working in transport as well. Storage curtailment could support 130 gigawatts of PV in Italy by 2060. So Italy is targeting to move to completely renewable derived grid, and they are saying that we have to put solar in overcapacity, and we have to also deploy storage with solar power plants, because they want to move to completely renewable grid. So they are saying by 2060 we will be deploying 130 gigawatts of solar. with excess overcapacity of energy storage, so that 24/7 power is derived with renewables. Longroad brings 200 megawatt of solar online for Microsoft. So Microsoft has done a long-term power purchase agreement with Longroad, and Longroad has acquired a already built asset from First Solar. This is one of 4 projects in Arizona, and they'll be buying more projects. So Microsoft, as we all know, has declared that they are completely carbon neutral, and they are doing this with the help of renewables. Sunseap to build 2.2 gigawatt of floating solar project on Indonesian reservoir. So Sunseap is building a floating solar project in Singapore and is also now building a project in Indonesian reservoir. 2.2 gigawatts is huge. 2.2 gigawatts. Go big and go home. The case for solarizing 30 million homes. So this is from US. US industry has installed about 102.8 gigawatts of solar capacity, roughly on 18.6 million homes, and they are targeting to solarize each and every home in the country. So 30 million homes they are targeting, and they are saying if we solarize all the homes, the total capacity would be 160 gigawatts from residential solar PV, and it would create so many jobs. So they want to do this. Calpine and GE bring an energy storage project online in Southern California. So this project of energy storage is 20 megawatt hours of supply with 80 megawatt hours of energy storage for 4 hours standalone battery. So they are using Tesla battery packs here, Tesla utility scale storage battery packs, and they have signed a 20-year resource adequacy power purchase agreement where the resource will be utilized, maintained, serviced for the period of 20 years. Solar's unstoppable growth puts sector on track for terawatt scale in 2022. So solar is growing rapidly around the world, and it is on track to reach terawatt scale territory by 2022. This is a report reported by Bloomberg New Energy Finance and IFA. So International Energy Agency is also saying that this could be achieved because each and every country is now targeting 100 plus 200 plus gigawatts from solar. Currently we are on a track where the projects that have been sanctioned to come online by 2022, they will surpass the capacity of 1200 gigawatts. So 1200 gigawatts is basically 1.2 terawatts of installed capacity of solar. So this is amazing news for solar industry. South Africa has installed 1.3 gigawatts of solar PV last year, and mainly large utility scale power plants have come online in South Africa. 800 megawatts of solar plant, ground mounted plant, was added in last quarter itself. Bloomberg New Energy Finance is saying that net zero could require the deployment of 455 gigawatts of solar capacity each year till 2030. And every year if we are going to deploy 455 gigawatts, by 2030 we would be reaching net zero, and by 2050 the total installed capacity could be 20 terawatts. 20 terawatts of solar capacity. This is the reason I'm making these videos, so that it reaches more young audience and more young people, more workforce enters into the solar industry, and we cater to the renewable energy demand and we achieve net zero. So this is the reason I'm doing this, and I'm working on this field, I'm working in this industry for this reason of net zero. 20 terawatts of solar capacity by 2050. Wow. Japan boosts renewable energy target for 2030 energy mix. So Japan currently has a renewable energy mix of 18% in their total generation capacity. They are saying we want to reach 36 to 38% by 2030. That is nearly doubling their current renewable energy capacity in the energy mix. So this was a study rolled out by World Bank. They are saying that rollout of off-grid solar parks and off-grid solar power projects and small products in Africa is recommended by Wide Group Buying Program for solar home systems in nations designated fragile by the World Bank. So this study has come from World Bank itself, and they are saying that the regions that are marked, this is the capacity that they are saying. If you can see the cursor, so Africa has a lot of potential right now to use solar as their main energy source, because currently they don't have any energy sources, large energy sources, and solar offers them the best solution. South Korea allocates over 2 gigawatts of solar projects in the latest auction. So South Korea also wants to become energy independent. They don't want to rely on their neighboring countries to get electricity, and they are auctioning floating solar, ground mount solar, wind, offshore wind power plants, and 2 gigawatts as just for solar, and they are giving a good power purchase price also of 12 cents per kilowatt hour. So 12 cents is amazing price. In India we are getting 3 cents per kilowatt hour, so 4 times the price. Wow. So this was a report from Siemens Energy. Siemens Energy spinned off its company of offshore wind power, that is Siemens Gamesa, that is the world's largest maker of offshore wind turbines, and they handed over the stake of 67% to the parent company, from the parent company to the new entity Siemens Energy that they made, and now they want to sell it again to their parent company, and they are saying that we'll only buy 37% at a valuation of 5.9 billion dollars. Though this news doesn't concern solar industry, but this was interesting to see how they are spinning off their own assets, their own asset making company into the parent company, then subsidiary company, then back again into the parent company, then forming a new company called special purpose vehicle to keep buying the company. They are rotating the company internally. So this was an interesting news, so I put it here in the PPT. So this was a good news. Last month we covered Daqo New Energy. They were investing heavily in expanding their polysilicon manufacturing capacities, and now they are listed in China, Shanghai Stock Exchange. So Daqo New Energy subsidiary Xinjiang Deco completes its IPO process, and the public listing was done at a price of 21.49 RMB per share, that is approximately like 220 rupees per share. And just after the IPO the gains were huge. The stock went skyrocket, 184% increase, and the closing price as I checked on Friday was 61.11 RMB per share. So amazing news for polysilicon industry. GE Renewable bags multiple orders from PGCIL. So Power Grid Corporation of India, as we all know, in last week also we covered that, in June also we covered that PGCIL has won the award of evacuation of 8.1 gigawatt of green energy from the state's solar energy zones, that is Fatehgarh, Bamer, Gajner, Bikaner, and we are also working there. So they are evacuating 8.1 gigawatts at a very high, ultra high voltage capacity of 400 kV, 600 kV, 800 kV. So they have given the order to GE to put the transformers, and the company GE will be supplying 765 kV transformers. 765 kV transformers. Wow. We are only working at 132 kV. And 765 kV reactors also to PGCIL for their evacuation of 8.1 gigawatts. Wow. So this was a research, this was basically an opinion piece published by a company that is working in heat pumps. They are saying that heat pumps are bankable and they can be given as a solution integrated with photovoltaics, and no incentive should be provided to heat pumps because they are itself profitable. So they are saying that heat pumps will be adopted if the government stop giving subsidy on heat pump adoption and start putting taxes if you don't have heat pumps in your house. So it was an interesting study if you want to read it, the future of heating in Europe. So the research was published and they are saying that heat pumps can run at minus 20 degrees Celsius and efficiently provide hot water up to 65 degrees Celsius. Renewable energy could provide 33 to 50% of US electricity by 2030. So 2030 US is targeting 1 terawatt of energy from renewable energy sources, and Biden has a goal of 80% from clean energy assets, and the report is saying that we might achieve 50% but not 80% as Biden has said by 2030. By 2050 surely 80% can be achieved. Duke Energy to develop 4 solar projects totaling 300 megawatt in Florida. So they are using single axis tracker and they are using bifacial modules. The project will be commissioned by 2022. REC Silicon progressing towards 2023. So REC is a Norwegian solar module maker who has a line of polysilicon, wafers, cell, solar glass, Tedlar sheet, back sheets, aluminum. So they make everything in-house, and they are one of the good panels that we have also used in India. They are amazing. The performance of REC Twin Peak Alpha series is wow. So REC was to set up polysilicon to the same line that they have in Norway. They were to set up in US. So from polysilicon to modules, they were going to set up in US using fluidized bed reactor, and they have met with some restriction, and agenda for the business case is being made, and they are likely to restart their plans to have a capacity. So this is a chart, and it was an interesting read. So please read this article as well. So the market look from BNEF is that polysilicon shortage will continue through 2021. So for this year we are going to have the same polysilicon shortage, and there is no cheap pricing around the corner. So the price trends that we covered last month also, the price for solar modules have shot up about 30%. So they will be keep going higher and higher. No relief in the year 2021. US infrastructure bill was not passed in the Senate. So US Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer has failed in a bid to fast track the US 1.2 trillion infrastructure investment bill through the Senate. So it was a big news. They made big waves last month of 1.2 trillion infrastructure investment bill that they will release in the public, and it will create jobs, it will revive the economy. So it has failed to pass. Work begins for 115 megawatt of solar park in Philippines, and this company that is developing the park, so they are saying that the total plan is for 1500 megawatts, and they are doing this to procure their fuel from this renewable energy source. We all know the fuel, hydrogen. Latham advises on $453 million deal from Thailand to India. So Latham Watkins is a group that advises in IPO as well. So it is advising a group called Global Renewables Energy Company that is backed by PTT Group of Thailand. So they are saying that you could buy a stake in the Indian power company Avadas Energy for $453 million. So Bewari rebrands Enable Energy as Bewari Power Solutions. So they bought this company in September, I think. I think in September or October. They bought it last year, and they used this company for energy storage in their utility scale projects, and now they have completely acquired it and rebranded it as their own. This was amazing news, and this is the last news. So this will set a benchmark to the world. This has been done in Australia, and now US is doing it. So NREL has developed an interoperable SCADA protocol for PV inverters. So what this is they have developed a SCADA protocol that they will be deploying in smart grid. So the utility companies and the national grid will be controlling the rooftop solar power plants, that is on your residential rooftop or on industrial rooftop, where they are taking the control directly from the legacy manufacturers or inverter manufacturers control units, and they are, because we all know solar inverters are connected to the internet for remote monitoring, and they are deploying a small software patch in this online monitoring system where they can track the inverters in real time, and this inverter will be part of a big SCADA system that will make the national grid. So they will be controlling the national grid. So if we come down how it is going to affect you as a normal consumer or me as a EPC developer in India, because NREL sets benchmarks for the world, and now how this is going to work is, say national grid operator sends a signal that solar power plants are generating too much power, as in the case of Australia, we don't need this power, we need you to stop the power plants. So they will send a signal via their SCADA to a remote transformer or a distribution transformer in my locality, in my lane, in my neighborhood, and that transformer is connected with my house solar PV plant. So that transformer will send a small current signal in my PV inverter, and it will ask my PV inverter to throttle down its capacity, and my PV inverter will throttle down its capacity, and I will be losing money in form of net metering because I will not be gaining the net metering benefits. So this is going to happen in the future also. We have seen this in the case of Australia, and all the Australian consumers moved to energy storage, adding Tesla Powerwalls or battery energy storage in their homes. And this was the same reason that Australian PV is now suffering due to like overcapacity of solar PV plants. And now the Australian grid is doing this with normal residential consumers, and NREL is trying to develop this interoperable SCADA that will be catering to small residential, utility scale and large solar parks as well. So this is the like big news for this week, and thank you for watching till here. If you got any value in this coverage, do hit like and subscribe, and please comment if you have any feedbacks. I have been attaching a form, Google Forms, for the past 2 months in the description below, for if you have any interesting news that you know and I'm not aware about and you want me to cover this in the weekly videos or in the monthly videos. So you can fill up that form and give me the links and give me the resources where I can research on the news. And this was all for the international solar updates for the week 3 July 2021. Hit like, subscribe, and most of all share this news with your solar industry friends. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next week.